Who can forget Big Boo's haunt? I mean, it's a giant haunted house in Mario 64, and it really showed how atmospheric and a little bit unsettling games could be back in the day, or 3D games could be back in the day. Especially this one, because I'm sure everyone remembers the piano. Oh my god, it's still terrifying. So I thought it'd be fun to try and recreate the stage as best as I could in Super Mario Maker. Now, of course, it's impossible to give an exact recreation because this level is actually pretty complex, almost maze-like, not quite, but it features tons of doors, multiple routes, and just a ton to it. Now, as always, if you want to check out my level before I actually play through it on this video, enter the code on the screen right now. You'll avoid any spoilers. There's a few Easter eggs in the level, so I definitely recommend checking it out first before watching me play through it. Otherwise, let's dive right into it. Yep, I even replicated the scene from before the level where the giant Boo would lead you down the castle hallway out in the courtyard, which is where you actually found the level itself. And just like in the actual game, that Boo's gone for good. You're not seeing him again. So let's go and take the warp pipe here and enter the level. And you actually drop into it just like in Mario 64. So let's go and run up to the castle here, or to the mansion here. And I've got the two torches on either side. I got the windows here, and you can even see the red roof just above. But let's go ahead and head on inside here. And you can see even there's a giant Boo up there, so we'll be seeing more of him later. So let's head on in. And we've got a couple choices now. We can go left or right. Well, let's head left first. What could be in there? Oh my god! That's terrifying. A giant chain chomp, or the, filling in for the piano, of course. It's even got the pounding sound and the pulsating screen. So let's get out of here. There's not much we can do. We can see a power star up there, but we can't get to it yet, so we'll come back later for it. So let's head to the other door. Alright. There's a Boo here. Not much else we can do here either. We can jump up to this windowsill. But that's about it. So let's go and take these donut lifts. And look, we're on the merry-go-round. It's even got some music. The Boos are having a happy good time here. But it looks like there's not much else we can do here. Like, what's going on? Alright, well, let's ride this conveyor belt a little bit, this merry-go-round. Oh, there's some coins down there. Alright, let's go for them. Alright, phew, it's safe. Alright, so we got mushrooms here. Let's go and grab it. And just like in the actual game, there is a platform here that'll take you back to the surface on the merry-go-round area, and it won't even move until you stand on it, just like in the game. So we'll ride it up here. And it took us to the little shack outside, just left of the mansion, like in the actual game. Alright, so now we're Super Mario, so let's go and bust back in there. So I forgot to mention this before, there's also the upstairs area, of course. Now we can't, in this case, we couldn't reach it because it's blocked off by bricks. But because we're Super Mario now, we can break through those bricks, and we can head on up. So take the warp pipe to the second level. Alright, we got two more doors here. Let's go right first this time. Let's see what's through here. You said it, Mario. That is a lot of Boos. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get through here quite yet, so let's go and head on back. Alright, let's head this way. Through the other door. Oh, so we are in the library from Mario 64. These cannonballs are the books that will fly at you in the original game, so we're gonna try and carefully cross this hallway. Not get destroyed. Oh geez, oh god, that was close. Alright, we'll jump up to the second portion of the hallway. And there were 3 books in the original game you could trigger in a specific order, represented by the question blocks here. As you might remember, they would open up a secret passage in the original game, so if we hit the P switch here, we have our secret passage, we'll head on through, and let's head through the door there. Alright, where are we? We're in some area. Oh, the Power Star! We're above the chain chomp and get the Power Star. Alright, let's run back to those Boos real quick. We can destroy them. Oops, oh, I already screwed up. So actually, let's head back. Let's re-grab that Power Star. Oh man, that piano's still terrifying. Piano chomp. Alright, we're gonna drop down here to make it a little shortcut. Alright, now we're gonna run back to those Boos. Yeah, take that, Boos. Cross over the windowsill. Oh, I took damage, but it's okay. We made it. So let's head through that door. And now we are on the roof. Or not on the roof yet, but we're like in the top portion of the area, which will lead us to the roof by taking this warp pipe. And we pop out the chimney. So, alright, so we're on the roof, and we got a bunch of big Boos here. There was just one in the original game, but we got a few taunting us this time. Let's see if we can sneak past them. Alright, what could be in this block here? Oh, of course, there's a Power Star like in the original game. So we're gonna take these Boos down. Alright, there's some coins out there. Let's jump for them. Alright. There's a question block. Let's hit it, and it's going to take us to a warp pipe in the sky. Whoa, this is one giant boo. Jeez. Terrifying. Alright, so we escaped the cave. We are officially done with Big Boo's mansion, and now we can just finish the level. Take that, giant boo. You ain't got nothing on us. Alright, guys, so that is our Big Boo's haunt. If you want to check it out for yourself, use the code on the screen. Put a lot of effort into it. In fact, let me show you how much effort I put into it. So let's go hop into the editor real quick, and I'll show you some of the things designed in this level. So, right away, we have our little hallway here. Nothing major, but you can see I have the boo on the track that drops off, so the boo actually disappears. That's why he doesn't come back. He disappears and he's gone for good. I thought it'd be kind of fun to replicate that original scene from the game. Now, the reason I actually decided to replicate this scene is I actually didn't have this idea originally. Instead, I had to find some way to get the mansion to the second portion of the level, which is, so it's in the sub area. And I did that because you can only have 4 warp doors, or rather 4 sets of warp doors in a single area. And for a level like Big Boo's mansion, I needed more than that. So what I had to end up doing is I ended up splitting the mansion into two different areas. So I added the mansion itself to the sub area. So you drop on in here. If you head to the left, you can see the little cabin there. But yeah, so we'll head to the right. Here's a mansion, and then we head to the door, which we'll do right now. It takes us inside. Now we go back to the editor view. We can see this is actually just right of the mansion. So we're actually inside the mansion now. So I've already used up, I think, all 4 doors. So I have, this is the entrance here, that door led from the entrance, and the other 2 lead to the other rooms. And then I have the door over here that leads to the merry-go-round. So I already, in the original version of the stage, I had already used up all four doors, and the stage was about to end. I was going to end the stage early. And I'm like, well, this doesn't really capture the feel of Big Boo's mansion. I originally spread the doors among multiple levels, or the 2 levels. But even then, I only had like 2 rooms or whatever. So I had to find some way to replicate it. And to do that, I added a warp pipe to separate the 2 halves, the 2 floors of the mansion. So what's cool is you can actually see a sneak peek of the upper floor there. But if we scroll up, there's no doors. I couldn't fit them in. So, yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. So, instead, what we end up doing is we take the warp pipe. Let's take it right here. It takes it back to area 1, and this takes us to the top floor. Whereas if we scroll down, you can see there's no doors down here. And ignore that warp pipe. That shouldn't be there. That was some testing. It won't be there in the version you play online. Yeah. So if you hit it here, yeah, you can see you can't even see beneath that level. So I made it so you could see the floor, or as much of the floor as possible, without actually seeing the parts that aren't there. Alright, so let's head back to the second area where we have our mansion. And so you head on, you take the warp or the door, you go inside. So you take the warp pipe if you want to the other floor. But if you head through one of the doors, or either door, it takes you to areas to the right here. So the first door takes you to the piano room, where you have this giant chain chomp, and I have this bomb using a music block that mimics the sound of the original game. It's kind of terrifying, and I loved that I was able to do that. Secondly, I had a power star up there, and if you scroll to the left again, you can see there's no door here, but I had no doors to work with. So, which meant I actually had to replicate this room in the other area, the main area. So if you scroll to the right here, all the way to the right, you can see I have the complete room here, except no door on the right. Again, which you can't actually see from up here. You can't get far enough to the right to see the door, which is perfect. Yeah, but we have the door on the left here. So let's head back to the other sub-area, though. It is actually very confusing. I'm confusing myself just talking about it. Let's see. So we have this room, and then I had to add a, and then in the other version of this room, you have the warp pipe above that spits out the stars in case you grab a star and screw up. I had to have some way of getting you more stars. So I added the one-way door so the stars only drop on you and you can't actually escape the level. You can't even see that. So in the other version of this level, or in the other version of this room, you can't even see the bomb up there. I hit him off screen. So anyways, whereas in this version of the room, you can't see it either because it's off screen from down here. So this took a lot of work to make sure everything was off screen. You couldn't spoil or see anything you weren't supposed to. It was a ton of effort. Let's see. If we head to the right, we can see my merry-go-round room. So we start up here, and then of course we ride the donut lifts down. And what I wanted to do was, in the original game, when you took those drops in the original game, it looked like you were falling into nothing before you eventually reached the area around the merry-go-round. I wanted to replicate that feeling here by having you do a slow descent into nothingness. We can't see anything at first, but slowly merry-go-round comes into view, and you get the music. And I did the music, of course, by layering some sounds all over the place, including on the cannons here, just as a redundant effect. That way, whenever you're close to the area, the music will play. But yeah, then you power up with a mushroom, you can take the lift to the top floor, and then you escape back out into the mansion, or to the area above the mansion, where you can then re-enter the mansion. Another thing I want to point out real quick is when you do re-enter the mansion, if you head all the way to the right, you can actually get a sneak peek of that block, the final block which you hit to reach, to use a vine to reach the warp pipe later on. I thought it was a kind of cool idea, give you like a little bit of a hint of what to do later. So let's go ahead back inside, and now we can, oops, we'll head back inside proper. And now let's pretend I was big, so I can actually take the warp pipe, we busted the blocks. And the reason I added the blocks there was just to make it so you had to explore every room, or most every room, just to kind of force you through the mansion. So and it kind of is true to the original game, because in the original game you actually had to complete a mission objective first before you could reach the second floor. So that is duplicated here as well, just in a slightly different form, whereas the staircase rose in the original game, I couldn't really replicate that here. So let's take the warp pipe. Now this will take us to the main area again, which remember is where we started off over here to the left. So we are inside the second floor here, so we head to the door on the left. That'll take us to this room, of course. So this is the only part of the room or part of the level you can actually technically break. Because if you hit the P switch and don't run through the bricks on the left, then you're screwed. There's nothing you can do. But who's going to do that? That's pretty much impossible. You'd have to be a complete idiot to manage to pull that off. So I didn't worry too much about that. Then we'll take this door. And that takes us to the other chain chomp room, which I've already shown off. You can see there's a warp pipe I mentioned earlier, that drops in extra stars. So, which again, you can't see normally. I want to hide it off screen for your first view of the room when you first enter it in the other area, because I felt like the warp pipe is distracting. Anyways, you can see my Babam over there, just chilling, which again, you can't see. He's too far off screen. Yeah, so let's go and head back through the door. Actually, let's not head back to the door. We'll head... Actually, yeah, let's take the door and we'll head to the other area. Okay. So, yeah, so this was just... Okay, right. So here we are back in the main room. Now, we took the other door. It would take us to... Yeah, this room, right? Wait. No, yeah, it would take us to this room with all the booze. So I had to find some way to delay you. So in the original version of this room, or in the original game, you had a wall jump up to that door above. Now you can't do wall jumps in this version, in this theme. And by the way, the reason I went with the Mario 3 theme, it was the best looking one for this version of the stage. I tried every other theme. None of them could make the mansion look as good as I wanted it to. So that's why I ended up with Mario 3. But as a side effect, I couldn't do the wall jumping thing. So instead, I decided to add the booze, and that'll force you to grab the power star from the piano room. And I thought it tied in thematically, and I liked having all the booze, even though the booze weren't in this room originally. I liked the scariness it added. And I loved adding Mario's low whoa sound there, just to add to it. So then we'll take this. If you took the second door, oh yeah, we know where that takes you. That takes you to the oh yeah, that takes you to the roof. God, I actually am confusing myself just talking about this level. So we're in the roof area, then you take the warp pipe to the chimney, and which you already know how that works. So if we head all the way to the right, we can see where the level actually ends. Ignore that ground there, I'm going to remove that. I'll remove that now, in fact, that's for the... That won't be there in the version you play, even though it won't matter because you can't see it. And then, yeah, then I thought it'd be fun to end the level on a giant boo. Kind of like how I ended the Jolly Roger Bay with a giant skull and crossbones. Because I realized I'm ending some of these levels in ways you didn't end them originally. And I like adding little elements to kind of tie it all together. And so I thought adding a giant boo they could actually go into. They actually had to go into to end the level. Would be kind of fun. Oh, man, that was a lot of talking. I know that wasn't the most concise description. But there you go, guys. So again, if you want to check out for yourself, you can play it right now using the code on your screen. It's going to be an even better version than what you currently saw, since I had to fix a few things. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain for more Super Mario 64 or more Super Mario Maker and other things gaming as well. Thanks, guys. Bye.